Happy November! We are saying goodbye to the Halloween season and moving on to a new month, so it is time to go over all the games I played in October. Also, I apologize that this video is a little late, I've just had a lot going on. First up, and probably the best game we played this whole month, was Silent Hill F. We did start playing it at the end of September, but we didn't get to finish it until October, so it is in this video. Now, I know there is a lot of discourse online about some people really liking this game, some people really hating it. Spoiler alert, I really liked it. Now, for me personally, Silent Hill 2, when we first played it, I gave a 9 out of 10, although I think I would move that to a 10, with the remake being a 9. Silent Hill 1 and 3, I both ranked an 8. I think this one I was going to rate an 8, but looking at it compared to 1 and 3, I'm moving it just below at a 7 out of 10. Now, story-wise, I think this captured a Silent Hill game brilliantly. Every time you interact with characters, you're just confused as fuck. I left like every interaction feeling just really unsure of what was going on, which I think is what those first Silent Hill games did really well. I really liked all of the characters and their interactions to each other as well, and the story and the world as a whole. I really enjoyed, and I think that that is this game's strongest point. The puzzles can also be very challenging at points, so I think that is also another plus for the game. Now, I know lots of people's critiques with this one stem from the gameplay and the combat overall, and whilst I was a little nervous about the combat in this one, I did actually end up liking it as a whole, so I did enjoy the combat. However, I do understand the criticisms about you being forced into a lot of the fights and not really having the option to run away, and I do understand that, especially towards the end of the game, there are a lot of like forced either battle sections or chase sections, so I do agree with the criticism there. But I don't necessarily hate the combat style. I think that it still had a good balance between fighting the enemies and having to think about how you're fighting them instead of just mashing attack buttons. One complaint for me though is that the endings are locked behind New Game Plus. So your first run through, you can only get one possible ending, there's no multiple options, and I am currently going through a New Game Plus run, and I will say it really is worth it with this game. It does actually differ quite a lot from the original run from what I've seen so far, and it really does tie up a lot of loose ends in the story, and going back through a lot of the interactions now, things are starting to make a whole lot more sense, and I'm a lot more understanding of what is going on, because the ending of that first playthrough had me a little confused, but everything makes sense now, so it is definitely worth doing New Game Plus. I just don't love that you have to get the full side of things. And then for the rest of the month, we were really just waiting until Pokemon Legends ZA came out, so we just played a bunch of like really short indie horror games, and the first one was Blame Him. This is a Chiller's Art game that I've had in my library for ages, and it's like the only one I've actually played at this point, but it's also one of their oldest. It has mixed reviews, and I do have to agree it's not the best. This one's a 3 out of 10 for me. There were a lot of sections where I got kind of stuck and lost on what to do, and also it was just really buggy. We ended up getting right to the end of the game, but not quite finishing it. There was like one tiny sequence left, because I just did not have the patience left for it anymore, if I'm being quite honest. The story wasn't super intriguing, it was a little all over the place. I don't think I would play it again, nor do I think I would recommend it. However, I do still want to play the rest of the Chiller's Art games in the future, so this one is a 3 out of 10. Next was a game called Canarium. I had this one in my Steam library for a while because I heard that it was inspired by Lovecraftian vibes, and I wanted to explore more games like that. However, this one had the same issue. Kind of Amnesia inspired, where it's just a lot of walking around, listening to dialogue and solving puzzles, and I am coming to find that I do not like games like that. I got stuck on almost all of the puzzles. I was very lost all the time about what was going on, and honestly, I don't even think I got halfway and I gave up on it because it just was not holding my interest and I was not having a good time. So this one is also a 3 out of 10. Next one we played was Keikki's Twisted Bakery. This one also, I believe, has a sequel coming out. Should be 2026, which is kind of fun, but this is inspired by games like Five Nights at Freddy's and Poppy Playtime, which you can definitely see the resemblance on. This one we did finish, although we did not get the good ending, but it was actually a lot of fun. I had a lot more fun with this one than I thought I would. The gameplay loop of running around the bakery to get ingredients, to bake the pies, is actually kind of addicting. And you do come up against a couple different enemies that all kind of have different tactics. So once it started to feel stale, it changed it up, which was nice. So this one was actually quite a bit of fun, but I can't rate it too high because it's like 3 hours long. So this one's a 5 out of 10, but I will be playing the sequel. And last one we played in October was SCP Lab Rat. I found this one when I was searching for SCP games on Steam because I've never played an SCP game, but I'm kind of interested in the lore, and I found this one. I was looking for Containment Breach, and this is what popped up, and from my understanding, this is just like a definitive version of Containment Breach. It does also have a VR mode, but we did not play that, obviously. This is another one I did not finish. It seems to be procedurally generated, so I had no idea what I was supposed to do or where I was supposed to go. I feel like I explored everywhere I could that didn't have an enemy that would kill me in it, and all the access cards I kept finding were level 1, but all the doors that were locked were level 2 and 3, so I didn't know where to go or what to do, so I did end up giving up on it after a couple hours. But what I did play was kind of fun. This fucker especially is terrifying. I will give the game this. Having a blinking mechanic and enemies that move when you blink scared the shit out of me, so I don't think I would go back to this game ever, purely because it's terrifying. So it does have that going for it, but again, same issue, just didn't hold my attention for very long and I had no idea what to do. But I at least had a bit more fun with it than Canarian and Blame Him, so it's a 4 out of 10. But there you go, that is all the games we got to play in October. We did also start playing Pokemon Legends ZA, but we didn't end up finishing it, and it is now on hold until December, because in November we host an event called Retrovember, so I play only retro games made prior to the year 2005 on the channel, so keep an eye out in December for Pokemon Legends ZA, but until then, stick around to see what retro games we get to play in November.